live. Yes, I have returned, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn this down a bit and maybe a bit wonky to start with, but yeah, we are back and we are live. Sorry, we had a little delay there. We had technical difficulties in terms of getting stuff set up, but we are back and we're just going to go with it. We're going to go with it. We're going to see where it takes us. And yeah, I'm glad you're back with me here on Talk Talk live on IG and YouTube. We are live on the new streaming service here. And yes, we are back to normal. It's been a couple months since I have been back here totally live. But again, we've had a few run throughs. So if you've been with us, thank you for that. But yes, we are back. We are live here on Talk Talk Live. I'm managing YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Shout out to my man Beast by Creation. He has this. He gave me this tee of Wolverine on here. So again, shout out to Beast by Creation tonight. They are, yeah, they sponsored my shirt for the show tonight, and so shout out to Beats by Creation. Don't worry, Gun Talk will be back very, very soon. But let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking. We need to talk about Ayesha Curry. Yes, I know I'm late to this, but I think it is no less poignant because Ayesha Curry is this year's Jada Pinkett Smith, ladies and gentlemen. She is on the tour of tearing down her man, and she learned from the best, as we'll be seeing with future video, with a further video coming soon. But again, thank you very much for joining me here at Talk Talk Live. We're going to get into this right away. We're not going to waste any more time. Now, a lot of people would have just taken sound bites and ran with it. I have decided to go back into the actual stream itself and decided to, check things out for myself. So again, we are going to the actual Talk, Call Her Daddy podcast, and we're going to go through many of the clips of the interview, but at least get the full essence, the full context of what she had to say. And believe me, am I surprised that she's getting the vitriol that she is right now? Well, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, so let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go to YouTube. We're going to go into, yes, going to do this here. Get my picture up there. There we go. So we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for joining me here at Talk Talk Live. I'm going to put on my headset. We're going to get into this video now. As you can see, we're starting at relatively zero in terms of timer, and you're going to see how soon she wants to speak about her men in glowing, if not unglowing terms. So let's get into this here at Talk Talk Live at IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into it.
Great. So you're more chill during the off season.
Super chill. Yeah. I mean, it's still chaotic. It's always chaotic, but we're like learning to live in that.
What do you guys usually do during this time of year? Are you traveling? Are you staying at home?
Well, right now, because it's July, it's always the most chaotic of the year, actually, of the whole calendar year, because 3 of our kids' birthdays are in July. Our anniversary is at the end of July. And it's like, if you play well, like for my husband, if you play well, you play until June.
And he usually plays well.
He usually plays well. This year,
okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's just speaking about her family life. She's just speaking about how things are in the Curry household when this interview was done, which is in July, to be fair. So again, it's been a couple months since this was allowed to get out there, anyways. But you had to do the edits, you got to do the post production and all that other stuff, and also have to do sponsorship ads as well. So it took a little time to get this edited, but that's how long it takes for these fine.
we had a little bit more time, which was nice, but usually it's just 2 months and that's it.
Okay, 4 kids Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because I want to talk a lot about that today because I relate to you in that way. Like, I really, really never thought I was going to get married. I'm like, there is actually no way that's ever going to happen. And then it happens. And you're like, maybe I didn't know myself that well. And it's like, no, you knew yourself when you were young.
Yes.
And then life happens. And then you grow up. And then you have different wants and needs. And that's okay to change your mind.
Yes.
But it's still shocking.
It's still shocking.
Okay, wait. Quickly back to parenting. I'm going to ask you a couple random, like,
But there's always like a resource or there's always a community of people who are experiencing similar things.
did you have like any friends who were in similar life stages to you at that point?
No.
They're like, babe, we're at One Oak.
No.
What are you doing?
No, actually, all of our friends are like just now having babies, like the past 4 or 5 years. So we were the trailblazers.
What was the hardest? hardest part of being a young mom?
I think my identity. So, uh, because I have such an entrepreneurial spirit, not being able to call the shots all the time for myself was freaking weird. And then learning how to kind of reset myself to make it all work while still having a family was weird too. Um, but it's made me really resilient and like a little gritty. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, like even thinking about how you said earlier, like once my daughter turned about 1, I was kind of looking around like, I love being a mom,
Yeah.
but I also have this other side of me that I can feel kind of wanting to come back up. And I think a lot of times women can experience like, or so I've read, because I'm obviously not a mother yet, hopefully. But like women can experience this like mom guilt of
Yeah.
like, if I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience
Okay.
that. I still experience that. I'm almost like I'm always in therapy talking about this. Um, but what I realized is like if you lose, like for me being married and like with my husband, if you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing? And so for me, it's always been important. I mean, I'm a little ADHD, so like I have a million and five ideas. I have a million interests. I'm very creative. I and I like to explore those sides of me, and I think it keeps me who I am to like my family and the people that I love, but it also allows me to have a certain level of confidence that I don't think I would have otherwise.
Right. It's like you grew up, like we've talked about, like
Just a second. Okay, so what am I missing here? I'm looking at this and
Your mic is on though.
why is it on now?
Your mic is on.
Okay, but they said I can't hear YouTube. Well, they can hear me.
They can't hear YouTube.
They can hear YouTube, but they can't hear me. No, you left and we can hear you. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, so what happened? So desktop audio, is that working?
My magical presence. I think that's what it was.
Okay, let me see if this works here.
I think I just gloriously just emanated. I exuded.
Okay, hold on. Yes, Lana?
I can hear you without your headset on.
Without the headset, you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. It's probably your desktop audio
Okay.
when you switch it to your.
Okay, so, okay, can you hear my YouTube when it plays?
I can hear you right now without a headset on.
Okay, what about the desktop audio?
I can hear you right now.
Play.
All right, let me hear it. Can you hear the audio here? Hold on.
Like having this thing that you were so passionate about.
Yeah.
And
Can you hear my audio? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear the audio. Okay, fine.
All right.
So we're back. I don't know what happened there. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
don't know why.
Okay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Technical issues, but we are back. We are live. We are here. I don't know what happened there, but it seems to have gone back in now. So, yes. All right. So we're gonna get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. We have our technical staff look at things, and we are back and we are live. So let's get back into this video and start again. Start again.
To lose that creative side of yourself would just mean that you're almost like doing a disservice to yourself and
Yeah.
then therefore to your kids and to your husband and to your
Yeah.
relationships. Like that's who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be, as women, we're always told, like, or at least it feels like people just try to have us be one dimensional, and you can do more. Not that it's easy,
No,
but it's an option.
it's an option. Like I say all the time, I'm like, when men do it, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so multifaceted. Wow,
So
like
talented.
what a renaissance man." And I'm like, "What? Why can't women do the same thing? Like, what is giving you the ick so bad that you feel like I can't do these separate things, be good at them, or at least try to? Like, what?"
Well, here's the thing, there, Aisha, and something that you don't realize is the fact that you can try these things. You can go out and do things on your own, but you realize long ago that there are only certain men that can be considered high value, that can be considered the top 1%, and so you decided that hey, if at the end of the day, yes, you can go out and try these things on your own. Nothing's wrong with that. No one's holding a gun to your head. You can do as you please as a free, upstanding woman in the Western world. However, there's a price to be paid for that. And that is you're gonna have to struggle like everyone else. Now you have a certain amount of good looks, so maybe not struggle as much. You may have an easier life. Most women have easier lives than men. However, um, that comes with a price, and that is you can lose a good thing like Steph Curry by pursuing your own ways and means and career ingenuities and awakenings of your own and having your whole face. So again, it's up to you. It's totally up to you. Nothing's wrong with what you've done. Nothing wrong with go out there and finding yourself. However, when you find yourself, you may find yourself alone. That's the only risk. If by chance you do this and you try and find yourself, you may find yourself alone. And then a Steph Curry could be out of your life, even though you want to be a girl boss. So, you know, that is the trade off. There is a trade off. For every choice, there are consequences. So, if you want to go out there and strike it out in your career and try and do it on your own, so be it. Nobody's stopping you. You are free to do that as a free, upstanding citizen of the Western world. However, there are consequences to that. I think you realize what those consequences are, and so you chose this life. Let's continue.
Like, what is the problem?
It is really frustrating. And then I think, thankfully, I feel like there's just been an uptick of people being like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just going to do it. Even if it pisses all of you off so much and it makes you uncomfortable to see a woman succeeding, deal with that on your own side, because I'm going to keep fucking pushing. Daddy gang, hi, it's me. Instead of just scrolling.
I always thought like,
deal with that on your own. You're going to keep pushing. Pushing and doing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the thing. They think that the patriarchy stopping them from going pursuing their goals, but women are left with a choice. As the now banned Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit has always said, women have a choice. They can go for a career. They can choose to strive to be the best that they can be and try to be a girl boss. However, in doing so, there is a trade-off. That trade-off is you could lose that man, that high value man that's in your life, and that once a lifetime opportunity to be with a Steph Curry, that could be lost for you to find yourself, for you to have your phase, for you to have your awakening, for you to get your career. Yes, and that is a choice that women only have. Men don't have this choice. Men must work or die. Men must achieve or fail. Simple as that. Women can choose to have children early, have children late, go to a career or not have a career, have a man cover them or not have a man cover them. It's up to them. It's totally, completely up to them. However, men aren't left with these choices. Now, we're not presenting that, but women are the only ones who are given that opportunity. So, but Again, don't think you're a girl boss just because you made choices for yourself. We don't go out, we don't call ourselves male bosses by going out and trying to survive and trying to live in this world unto ourselves and be free upstanding citizens. We don't cheer ourselves on and have a group of cheerleaders behind us saying, "Oh, you go, guy." No, there's not that opportunity, but women need this sort of self-esteem shots. Anyways, let's continue.
I didn't know that he was gonna end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was gonna be.
Okay. Listen to this intently. I'm going to rewind this back for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the key point right here. She thought, because in this point, you're going to find out that she thought that she could do better than Steph. And this is what's driving her nuts. That Steph became an all time great in the NBA, one of the great sportsmen of the world, one of the most recognized names in the world of sport and in basically in pop culture, period, thanks to hip hop. But Ayesha thought she was better than him. She really thought that she was better than him, and that he could not achieve the success that she did. And you know what? We'll let her explain. Let's get into this.
Have afforded me doors to be open. I obviously have to walk through them and then put in the work to stay in the room. But that I think would be the
No, we're
elephant.
gonna go back a little further because this is the key point to this whole argument here. No. You can go away, Miss Host. That's just being silly. That's just being so silly. Let's continue from here.
There are a lot of people in sports that don't obviously have to go through as much of the conversation around like fame and spotlight as you and your husband have had to. How did being in the spotlight impact your relationship in the early days, because you guys didn't know how to handle it?
It's a double-edged sword, because parts of it have afforded me doors to be open. I obviously have to walk through them and then put in the work to stay in the room. But that I think would be the elephant in the room, is like I'm grateful for that side of things. But on the flip side, I in the beginning hated it so much.
And this is why, right here, I wanted it to play out in its perpetuity. This is why Ayesha Curry is getting the blowback she is. Right here. She realizes that is she receives advantages that 99% of women will not have. She can go out, she can start a business, she can start a podcast, she can start a cooking show, she can get on Food Network, all without auditioning, all without putting in the hard work in order to get to that certain place. However, with all those advantages and with the life that 99.5% of people would not lead in their lifetime, she still hated the fact that she had these advantages. Make that make sense. I'll let her continue.
I like did not sign up for that. I also always thought like I didn't know that he was gonna end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was gonna be like the girl out there getting it. So
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We found it. We found the crux of the argument, ladies and gentlemen. That is this. Aisha Curtis thought she was the star. She had the main character syndrome. She thought that Steph could have his little basketball high school coaching thing over here, while I will be the one to have the name the family, could, hang their star on. I'm the one who's going to be carrying the full brunt of things. So you see, with that breeded contempt. breeded actual content. Yeah, said she never expected for her husband to be the all star, the all NBA all time great, the superstar that he became. She never thought he would be that. She always thought she would be that. And even though Steph created platforms so that she could be that, she still resented it because she had main character syndrome. She was the main character. She was the creative. And what do we know about creatives? Kevin Samuels said his best. If we'll feature him later on today, creatives are very, very self centered. They believe that they deserve the plaudits, they deserve the accolades, they deserve the praise and attention, and not their husbands. When their husbands shine, they resent it because that they believe that should have been them. And this is why the world resents Steph Curry. This is why we have to talk about Ayesha Curry. Sorry. This is the reason why we have to talk about Ayesha Curry. Because she, with all the advantages granted to her, still hates her life. With all of the notoriety she receives from being Steph Curry's wife, she still hates the fact that she lives in the shadow of one of the greatest NBA players of all time. She hates it. And she'll say as much. Remember, we heard this same thing not too long ago, a few years ago, from one Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, we did. And here we are, reliving the lesson. And you'll see later on, she even said, she self confessed she can't keep her mouth shut. She can't keep these ideas to herself. No, she got to blurt it out, let everybody know, oh, I hate my life, even though I live the life that most people would covet to the nth power.
I didn't know. And so it just like it was weird. And sports fans are so different than like maybe entertainment world fans, and oftentimes it's like very ruthless. And so I think I wasn't expecting that either.
No, one thing that sports fans are loyal. There's a loyalty to sports fans because more sports fans are men. Men are very loyal to their teams. I'm very loyal to that team behind me, Arsenal Football Club. I'm loyal to that. I'll never change my allegiance for any team. I wouldn't change my allegiance to the Blue Jays. Hopefully, they'll get their act together in the game 3, 4, and 5. I'll never change my allegiance to the Buffalo Bills, who got their butt kicked yesterday by Atlanta, and I'm very upset at that. That won't change their allegiance to the Montreal Canadiens, who are on the rise, and they're in the hinterlands, but hopefully they'll get their act together for being the premier franchise in club hockey. But sports fans are very, very loyal. And that's something that Ayesha couldn't understand because entertainment fans are very fickle. You're up one day and down the next. They like you one day, they don't like you the next. Because it's all about the material and what you can do. Listen, Yeezy had it right. He was I think is one of the greatest hip hop, if not the greatest hip hop performer of all time. But nobody likes him right now. Why? Because he has this out. Now again, this is, you know, this is Harry Carey on his own part. I think he killed his own career, unfortunately. But I'll stay loyal to Kanye as in terms of music. In terms of his beliefs, okay, we could have a discussion, but I'll stay loyal to that. But a lot of people won't. A lot of people won't stay loyal to the entertainers that they follow. Sports people, unfortunately, they stay loyal to the teams they follow to the end, from the time they were born to the time they die. Very few will change colors, and most of those fans are men. They tend to happen to be men. Men are very loyal, and that's the one thing that Aisha can't get her head around: how loyal these people are, how fervent, how fanatical these people are, how they support their team through thick and thin. It is a fan. It is a fan base that won't change color for whatever reason. So Steph has a built-in bunch of groupies, bunch of fans that won't change code. I'm a fan of Steph Curry. Most people are fans of Steph Curry because he did it the right way. He purely was one of the top 20 players of all time, without question. And no one will change that. And he'll be always be known for that. And the fact of the matter is, she hates that. Why? Because no one will forget Steph Curry. We'll forget Ayesha Curry if she loses touch with Steph. Guaranteed we'll forget about Ayesha. Guaranteed. We won't lose Steph. Nope. Because he provided us with way too many memories. Way too many. But Ayesha, she had a cookie show here, she had this there, whatever. Easily forgettable. And that's what she hates. The fact that Steph is unforgettable. And that she will always be in his shadow. Let's continue.
I remember like one time right after my first was born, she was whiny, so I was like, let me just nurse her in the back seat. And Stefan was putting a bike or something in the trunk. And this woman like opens the car door and she sticks her head in and she's like, I just wanted to see the baby. And I'm like, excuse me. And she looks me dead in my face and goes, oh, honey, you know what you signed up for. And then like shuts the door on me. And I was just crying because I was like postpartum. I was just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what? Like, is this what it's going to be like?
Wow.
And so that the beginning phases were kind of scary for me.
Here's the thing. That lady who was caretaker to Steph and the family, she's right. This is what you signed up for. This is the choice she made. In order to bypass the line, this is the choice she made. This is what being a high value woman is all about. Youth, beauty, fertility. You had all three. You used it on the right man. Guess what? The world is yours. But she didn't want the world. She wanted to throw it away. However, as that driver, as that caretaker reminded her, this is what you signed up for. This is the choice you made. And no one's gonna feel sorry for you for making it. In fact, they want to be you. Most women want to be Ayesha Curry. Absolutely. For a man who's 6'3", good looks, the greatest shooter in NBA history, they'll want to be her. But she didn't want that life because remember, she thought she was a star. She thought she was the main attraction. So, you know, she didn't like the reviews she received. So that's the reason why she cried. It's like, indeed, this is what you signed up for, and reviews are what they are. Let's continue.
And
Sorry.
as a woman, like, did you ever experience any type of like direct scrutiny over just like you or what you looked like or how you were acting?
Oh, all the time. I feel like I still do. And that's okay. But
how did that impact you though early on when you were like, I'm still not equipped to handle this? Because now you're like seasoned. Yes, it affects you, but you now have the tools of like, I've been here before. I know exactly how to handle this moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt.
It was so depressing. And also it was during that time when this like social media thing was just ramping up. And so people were going buck wild. and just spewing opinions on things that didn't warrant opinions. And so I think for a while, yeah, I was very critical of myself because of the things that I was seeing.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're like, men just don't get as much scrutiny. Like, they can maybe tell him like, your fucking shots suck tonight, but like the looks and all of that is just like not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you
And this is why I don't listen to this podcast, because when you say stupid stuff like that, why should I listen? You know how much pressure there is on a Steph Curry 3-point shot? You know when a franchise. Let me just put this a little bigger there so you can all see it all. You know what lie. How many lives depend on a Steph Curry 3-point shot? Do you know? I don't think she does. Does she know how much? How many lives depend on a Steph Curry 3-point shot? Let's take the franchise and all of its and the whole organization within it. So we'll say about 100 people, I'd say. Plus you take on concessions. That's another about 1,000, 2,000. Think about security. Think about maintenance staff. Thinking about all these people, because all these people are employed by the fact that people file in to see Steph Curry. And that's not within San Francisco where Steph plays. That's NBA wide. That's why Steph is the face of the NBA. So for her to say, "Oh, there's no pressure on a 3-point shot," is an absolute idiotic thing to say. And clearly, she doesn't watch sports at all, or the finance of sports at all. So this is why I don't listen to a woman like this, because she clearly is talking out of her ass. Which she is, to be
you talk to Steph about it? Like, or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out.
And this is where she lies. She can't keep her mouth shut. I'm letting her speak her own words. I'm letting her, as the ladies say, speak her own truth. She can't keep her mouth shut. And this is why she's on all this trouble. You know who's in trouble? Letitia James isn't in trouble. LeBron's wife. Because you know what? Some of the problems she may have, she may get professional help, or she may speak to her family. But you know what she does? She keeps her mouth shut and not allow for herself to fall into these sort of embarrassing moments where she could be criticized and light up. When you go to the likes of a Call Her Daddy show, podcast, and say the absolute asinine things you say because you can't keep your gums locked, you open yourself to scrutiny. You do. That's why I wanted to take time to analyze the actual video, because she 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 takes her own rope to which she can hang herself with. She does. She even says herself, "I can't keep my mouth shut." And when a woman can't keep her mouth shut, guess what? She not only ends up hurting herself, but the reputation of her man. Because her man can't keep her mouth shut. Her man can't advocate for her to, you know what, pipe down on this. Don't talk about this and that when you're on the show. Have your fun, but listen, don't embarrass me. Now, what does she do? She go out and embarrass him. So clearly she's rebelling. But if Steph's cool with it, what are we to do? I guess he has to learn the lesson Will learned. Right? Let's continue.
And he's so gracious. Like, he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, what do you, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real.
I mean, that's so men where you're like, no, wait, but I want to talk about it for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
Can we just sit down? And they're like, do you want me to solve it for you?
Yeah.
It's not real. We both know it's not real, blah, blah.
He's like,
no.
go to bed.
Go to sleep. You're like in the bathroom brushing your teeth. You're like, another thing. You like pop out. He's like,
quite literally.
Can you?
That's right. Steph is right about that. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. It is not real. It is stupid. Why should I concern myself with this absolute lunacy where your feelings are affected? Yeah, I'll have a little bandwidth for that, but for you to be sitting there 3-4 hours when you spew out your feelings about a life which most people would love to have, it's silly. Why should I listen to that? Why should you listen to that? Please stop talking. Please stop talking. Because your musings are the musings of a child who wants certain things, of a spoilt child. He provides you with the best life possible, and still it's not enough. And still you want to caterwaul and catcall. Because you're not the main character in that relationship. That's why you run to get counseling and therapy. Because you believed that you were the main character, and you thought this man was going to be a high school coach. Didn't turn out that way. Oh well. Oh well. Now I need therapy from raising 4 kids and living a life that most people would envy to the nth degree. Cry me a liver, Ayesha Curry. Cry me a river.
Share like something that was said about you in the early days to just like paint the picture.
Gosh,
no one knows.
Me on the spot. Okay, this one's kind of funny.
Okay. Okay. Now it's funny.
This one's kind of funny because at a certain point, like, I do have a round face.
Oh my God.
So like at a certain point, this was true because I was a little weightier. But there was this thing going around that said there's 2 things. It was like that I look like SpongeBob's mom. Just look it up after.
Okay.
I felt that way. So then seeing it, I was like, damn. Damn.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's true. It is true. You look like SpongeBob, especially when you put on weight. Ayesha, you need to keep that in check. Anyways, let's move on to the 46th minute. And we're going to talk about some of the advantages that Ayesha receives. No, we're on the 46th minute. Yes, around here. Let's get into it right here as we move forward. Now, again, we're playing this in perpetuity. We're going to give Ayesha the benefit of the doubt. We're going to follow this in full context so that we're not taking out clips. We're going to let this run free form so that Ayesha can explain herself for what she said. She already said it herself, that she can't keep her mouth shut. And that, let the chips fall where they may. And some people, will get a little butthurt, or their reputations will be besmirched by the fact that their woman is talking out of turn. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We need to deal with that, right? Okay, let's continue.
And all the things. And then one day you woke up pretty quickly into having a kid, being like, wait, I got to get myself back on track.
Yeah.
Steph has his career. I want my career to get back on track.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part early days of like really trying to start your business?
I think early days it was just starting. So I basically started. So I figured I wasn't going to transition back into acting yet. I was going to try to figure out something for myself where I could kind of stay in one place. I've loved food my entire life. Like I've cooked for my family since I was 11 years old. Um, and people would often ask me for recipes and things like that. And so because we were the only people at the time in our family on the West Coast, everybody was on the East Coast. I was like, "Oh, I'll start like for the family. Like I'm just going to launch a blog." Blogs were the thing at the time. And Stefan's actually the one that encouraged it because I would start and stop, start and stop. He was like, just do it. So I did it. Other people took notice. And then someone said, hey, people like to see these things, like make a video. And so I started making videos. And from there, it grew. And I went to San Francisco cooking school for a little bit. And then the the station that broadcasts the Warriors games at the time, they reached out and they were like, "Hey, we really like your videos. Like, what if we gave you a 30-minute slot before every game locally and we did a cooking segment?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so that was like my first TV cooking direct to camera. And then from there, it grew to the book and then the book to Food Network. And so it was like I had this robust, like, food television career very quickly, that happened pretty organically, and I've like enjoyed every minute of it.
Stop there. I wanted that to play out. I wanted that to go to the full comment. So now we've received it. So let's begin from the top. Ayesha didn't want to be one to go to auditions. She's Ayesha Curry. She shouldn't have to go to auditions. So she said to herself, I want a career. Okay, do as you will. So she said, okay, I love cooking. I'm going to start cooking. I'm going to start cooking. I'm going to start posting videos on my cooking. It started getting traction. And all of a sudden, she said, okay, well, let me see if I can make a career out of this. So I'm going to make a culinary career. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Step to the rescue. Step provided a platform through the Golden State Warriors where she could display her cooking talents, even though she's had very little cooking experience. Very little. Yet, she gets a platform where she can cook and she can write a cookbook, ladies and gentlemen. So she has a cookbook and a platform in which she can display her wares through whom? Her husband. And so it got into a producer's ears at the Food Network, probably for the fact that her name is Ayesha Curry, for Christ's sake. And so she got herself a Food Network channel, and she created her own. She was able to create a life for herself, but it wasn't through herself. If it was through herself, she'd have to go through audition, 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 trial and error, and years of turmoil. Years. And yet, she has this cooking career that's quite lucrative for herself. Why? Through her own experience, through her own spade work? No, it's because her husband created the lane. Because she has the Curry name. That's how she got it. So she is effusive with condemnation on her husband, and she thought that she was the main character in this life story. However, she doesn't have a career without Steph. Because Steph encouraged her, go, do that. I'll create the lane for you. And lo and behold, the lane was created. Funny that. The man who creates the lane gets the blame. Let me say that again. The man who created the lane got the blame. You hindered my career. You didn't allow for my spiritual awakening or my sexual awakening. You didn't allow me to have my whole face. You didn't allow me to be a yacht girl. You didn't allow me to try and fail. You didn't allow me to have my own career. But yet you have a lucrative one through it. Make that make sense. This is why you're catching hell, Ayesha. Let's continue.
What has been, do you think, the hardest situation that you've had to navigate as a female business owner?
Um,
She can laugh at that because she knows that that business was not her own. A man created a business for you. Here, you want to be career women? I'll give you that opportunity. There's your lane. Go ahead. Do your thing. Be strong and independent. But I'll tell you what, there's a reason for that. Just saying.
I
Why are you laughing?
sorry, I because I don't know if I can say this, but I'll just say it anyway.
You're doing wonderfully well already. Yeah, you don't know if you're saying it, but you'll say it anyway because you want the notoriety, you want the fame, you want you all, yeah, you want to create attention and adulation at your man's expense. Shame on you, shit, Saisha Curry. Shame on you.
The hardest, there's two. The first is was hearing the no's as a woman in food. So I didn't realize how many barriers at the time. Now it's very different. There were I was either too young or too young of a woman, or there was nobody that looked like me. So instead of being like, you don't have a demographic here, let's create one, it was like, no, you don't have a demographic here. And so I think that was shocking to me, getting people to take me seriously, because at the time, I think I was now 24 or 25. And so getting people to see me and realize that I had talent outside of what people were assuming, I think has been really difficult.
I think also what you were kind of alluding to when you were saying that, people were looking to see if you actually had talent outside of maybe
Yeah.
what people were expecting you to be known for. And kind of what we were talking about with the money thing earlier, it's like, yes, I think there's a lot of people that would be like, you're Steph Curry's wife. Like,
yeah.
go sit in the stands and like he makes so much money, just be happy.
Yeah.
And so there's the one, why are you working question, and then there's the two now that you're bringing up of like people maybe assuming, oh, is she getting what she's getting just because she is this guy's wife?
Right.
How does that make you feel when you hear those comments?
It feels crazy. And actually, what you just said, like, I recall, like, sitting there, you said in the stands, a reporter actually literally said on live television, she needs to sit there and look pretty like other people. I think people just don't realize that there is a life outside of where we are now in our adulthood. I think people can't see past like the surface one sheet.
Yep. Or you know what?
And here's the thing: no one can see past it because we know the path that created it. Yeah, okay, she got to know. How many knows? Oh, we're up at the live. Okay, we're going to continue the thing on Talk Talk Live here, live on IG and YouTube. We're going to continue on the second hour. All right. All right. So let's go here. We're going to continue here on Talk Talk Live, live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're into the second hour here. I snuck up out of nowhere here. So, oh shoot, let me get out of here. Yes, into the live, yes, and we're gonna boom this, yes. So we're gonna go into the second hour here on Talk Talk Live, live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I wasn't even watching the time. I need to start watching the time because that time is what keeps me focused and active and focused. Okay, so yes. So we are, yes. Let me just move this out. Well, anyways, we're gonna worry about the. I'm gonna get that back, but let's continue on YouTube here. Let's continue on IG. We are on IG, ladies and gentlemen. So indeed, as we were saying, um, yeah, she got a few no's. She did get a few no's. However, those no's those no's were very few and far between because again, you are the wife of Steph. So how many people are going to say no to you? No, not many. You're not going to get 1,000 doors shut in your face. You're not because you're a superstar's wife, and they like these sort of stories in the public eye, in the public domain. That you have a husband who's a superstar husband, and you have this lady who knows how to cook and creates her own cookbook and has some culinary lessons, and from there we can indeed um, you know get a little name notoriety from it. So again, yeah, she's lived a charmed life, ladies and gentlemen. Don't feel sorry. Don't cry for her, Ayesha Curry. Let's continue.
They don't want to,
They don't want to. They don't want to.
which sucks.
It sucks so bad. But I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Even if you guys don't like it,
Yeah.
women are just gonna keep on coming, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh my god, here they come again."
Yeah, because men allow them to come on. Sorry, especially in these circumstances. Let's continue.
Throughout your career,
I'm sorry.
The only reason why we're doing this is because I want you to hear of the rest of Ayesha Curry's career and who was very influential in creating it. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for joining me here at Talk Live, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on Road to 1,000 subscribers. And today I'm wearing up, um, we're wearing up some fashion here from my man Mark here at Edges. We're gonna get the name in a minute. Hold on, just a second.
That
Oh, wait.
sounds crazy.
well, we may also come again. Hopefully, if you can make us. If not, we'll do it ourselves. Okay, here we go.
Oh, God.
Talking about these industries that you were trying to break into,
Yeah.
having people look at you being like, we haven't seen someone like you do it before, or also you being too young, all these things. A lot of these industries that you were trying to break into were heavily male dominated,
Very male dominated.
also probably controlled by white men.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
how did you get the confidence in moments to advocate for yourself?
I didn't at the time. I didn't have that. I kind of was just going where I was told. But it took for somebody to advocate for me. So it took somebody at the network who was a woman who just so happened to have their first child to be like, no, she's not too young, and I see it, and we're gonna do it. And I'm like forever grateful. But I think now in my 30s, I've gotten pretty good at advocating for myself, or like just living in that vulnerability of what that means. So like even if it's not well received, at least I'm satisfied and I know that I've spoken up for myself, because I have in the past tended to be very timid and shy and reserved for the most part.
Yeah.
So
No need to be tired and reserved when. Well, anyways, let it continue. We all know the deal, but let this finish out. There's only a few more minutes left, and then we can move on to
You saying that a woman kind of like paid it forward to you and was like, no, let's give this girl a chance. That makes me so hopeful, because I feel like even you saying that, the fact that she was probably the only woman in the room, and then
Thank you very much. Beast of Creation, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sponsor of this church right here. Shout out to my man Mark, who is the designer. So I'm repping him today on Talk Live. So Beast of Creation, get it now at beastofcreation.com. He's got some great work, great artwork. So I'm sponsoring him today. Well, he's being sponsored by me today by wearing this shirt. So again, I'll bring on another hoodie in a bit more time. But again, I'm sponsored by Beast of Creation today here on Talk Live. Thank you very much. Continuing as we go on.
she saw something in you. I think it's a great message to, there's so many women that will be listening to this. And it's
Yeah.
like, I know sometimes it can feel like as the only woman, just be like grateful that you are at least a woman in the room.
Yeah.
But like to lift other women up with you is how we're going to stop feeling so isolated and alone in those rooms with men. So like what a beautiful moment for you. Now you being kind of maybe more in the position of power.
Yeah.
How have you been able to uplift and kind of advocate for more women in your industry?
So through all of this, through my culinary background and hospitality and all of that, we've really like realized the power of storytelling. And so we had Sweet July magazine for a while. We have Sweet July Productions and Sweet July Books now. And so the way that I feel like I pay it forward is by finding badass women in all of those spaces and giving them the platform to tell their stories. It's so much more rewarding. Like it's like what you're doing. It's so much more rewarding than trying to go around for yourself, you know? It's when you lock arms with strong, creative, outspoken women, it's so much more powerful than doing it alone.
You know, it like changes everything.
Let me say this, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, for the Chief Seat. She did not do this alone. Oh my God, she did not do this alone. Steph was there every step of the way. So to vilify him and to besmirch his reputation and talk bad about him is the height of disrespect. The height of utter disrespect. You cannot come on these channels, say what you got to say, and think that Steph's loyal fan base is going to take your words ad litem and consider this as kosher and sunshine and lemon drops. When they're not going to take that down line down, and definitely the manosphere is not going to take this line down. Continue.
Like you're like, oh my God. And we all usually start alone.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that's it's so exciting and eye-opening when you start to work with more women who are like-minded and you're like, oh my God, why was it this hard to get to this place where I finally get to work with women? Because a lot of times it takes you being in a position of privilege to then create that environment around you in a work setting. And it's incredible that you are doing that. Your foundation that you
Yes.
have with Steph,
Yes.
Eat, Learn, Play. Can you talk about like what is the most rewarding part of being able to do that together?
I think the single most important thing we'll do in our careers for sure is Eat, Learn, Play. So basically we provide access to quality nutrition.
Again, she has a foundation that's still created for her to show that she's giving back to the community, and if she had to do it on her own, she wouldn't do. Oh my God! Wow, just wow.
Quality education and safe places to play for kids in the Oakland Unified School District. The statistics are devastating when you look at how kids are learning within the school system. But then when you pan out and you look from a bird's eye view at why that is, and you realize it's those three simple things, like it's heartbreaking. And no child should have to be without that. And so we partnered with the school district and founded Eat, Learn, Play like right before the pandemic started. And have been able to make some pretty impactful change so far. There's literally so much more to do. But I think it's so important to us because we're going to start to see a shift for the future generations. And if we lay the foundation now, it'll be smooth sailing down the road. And like a lot of people ask us why we're so siphoned into just Oakland. And it's because you got to crawl before you walk. And if we can solve
that is where you gotta crawl before you walk. That is where Steph Curry's main fan base lies. Oakland, San Francisco. It's not. You don't take a rocket scientist to find out. Now, Oakland again is one of the more impoverished cities in the United States. Let's say that it is, and they are in desperate need of help. And it's great that Steph and Ayesha have this sort of charitable arm to help those in need and those with food insecurity in those areas. But let it be said, Ayesha Curry, yeah, she may be able to create the foundation herself, but she said we. There would be no foundation without he. Because guess who's providing the money for the said foundation? It ain't her. She's not sold enough cookbooks. She's not on the Food Network long enough for them to create this foundation. Yet it's okay. You know, we're gonna leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to call her daddy. That was an absolute strain on my last brain cell to get through that, but I had to because I wanted to give you contextual knowledge of what she had to say. Because everybody would say, "Oh, you only take sound clips." No, we took everything she had to say and realized that she deserves the vitriol she's getting. So let's get to the vitriol, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to that segment that we've all been waiting for, the vitriol, and it's going to be supplied by no other than the one and only Chisa Zed. Drink the coffee, and the one and only Kevin Samuels. Kevin saw that and foretold this. We're gonna keep it right here, because this is the segment in which uh, we get most, if not all, we need to say with regards to Ayesha. And I think this is going to take us to that second hour and that magical second hour. So we're going to leave it right here and get to the crux of matters, because we could go to the former one and she says a lot more. And I think in the former one that that she's on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and her coven, and she where she bad talks. She's on the was it now the was it the Fuse spinoff, and she's trying to take a ring off there. So she's already had her examples of taking us, and then she was on Red Table Talk with Steph Curry's mother, and in so doing, she chimed in trying to take a slice off her own son, which well, she was there to see it being chimed in. But nonetheless, we're not going to go there. We're going to keep it here, and we're going to keep it on, as we can see right here, the one and only Cheese's Head and the Coffee Pod. Shout out to Cheese's Head and the Coffee Pod doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. And he is, he's kicking ass and taking names here on the Coffee Pod. He's had some wonderful segments. He's on a good roll right now. But he found this video that foretold what may happen in Steph Curry / Ayesha Curry's relationship going forward, because this girl's an official line stepper. She's already self-confessed she can't keep her mouth shut, and sooner or later she's gonna keep slipping, and her jaundiced eye, look that up. Her jaundiced eye, only ready to criticize her husband, who provided her with everything, as we have already seen, can't keep her mouth shut because she has main character syndrome, and she only thought her husband was going to be a high school basketball coach. She never thought that he would be a all-time NBA great. And so she has to live in his show light. Oh well. Ho hum. Being the top 1%. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen, with Chisa Zed and the Coffee Pod.
But guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I feel is going to happen.
I fear this is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him.
Right.
It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable.
Right.
She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people are actually looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Men in relationships that have been cheated on before know that there are precursors to it. It's like that famous Ozark scene where he was like, I don't remember who said it. You had a million chances to say no. You could have said no at the grocery. You could have said no when he texted you. You could have said no when he called you. You could have said no when you met up, when you sucked the dick. You had a million chances to say no. Some of those lines, some of those precursors, people think Ayesha Curry is hitting.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it.
When you hear your girl...
Remember, that was at minute 1 of that video, of the Call Her Daddy video. Minute 1. She started off guns blazing. Continue, Joe Budden.
Girl in the house talking about how she missed the glory days or I missed out on the whole days. That could be nothing, but it also could be
something. Right.
Something. One for me that has been prevalent in life is, oh, you're not looking at me with the same eye you looked at me like before.
Thanks.
Before I knew what that one meant, I just thought I took it at face value. Oh shit, I got changed. I'll look at you. That don't mean that.
They don't.
Her past misgivings. Here she is on the talk. I think. Oh yeah, it's called the talk. Her on the talk, trying to remove her one of those the View spinoffs, trying to remove her ring because she wants her whole face, ladies and gentlemen. Continue.
That nigga outside looked at me with the new eye.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And boy, did it feel good.
It was
And
sparkling.
boy, did it feel.
You need a hold of water player. Oh, but you can't make a thing. You dig what I'm saying?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So a couple of days ago, I released a video with the thumbnail title, Kevin Samuels Was Right. Now, the topic had to do with my own opinion when it came to Ayesha Curry continuing to embarrass her husband, talk down on him. And I also included other people's perspectives in that video. And there were a lot of think pieces and opinions from a whole bunch of different people in that video, except for Kevin Samuels. That is until now. I found this video, and I don't think I've seen this video in its entirety. I knew it existed. I found it on a random channel. It has like 80 views, and it was posted 2 years ago. And the title is Kevin Samuels on Ayesha Curry. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Guys, I'm just going to get right into this. This one hits home for me because I've seen it so often. I've counseled with guys through divorce care, through Christian ministries, through breakups, through so many things. And I've seen so many guys that have actually married a woman they absolutely adore. But the woman thinks she's better than you. And ultimately, she's jealous of you. Avoid women who think they are better than you because you can never make them happy. And here's the thing. As your success continues to rise, their anger, their resentment, their animosity towards you will continue to rise. So outwardly, people look at you and say, oh, she's so lucky to have this man. He's a multimillionaire, a good family man, all these other things. And all she's sitting there and saying, it should be me. I'm better than him.
So real quick, some of you may be wondering.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you saw it here on Talk Live. She thought she was better than him. Kevin said it then, and he was right. The man is speaking from the grave, and he was right. He knew that this woman thought that this man was going to be only a high school basketball coach, not one of the greatest NBA sportsmen of all time. And she hates that. Can't stand it. It grates her insides that she is not the main character in that scene. In every scene. She thought she was going to be the girl boss. She thought that she was going to lead the family. No. She thought she was going to be Rihanna. No. Not in this instance. And that not in most instances. Kevin Samuels said it then, And so was he right about it now. And he was so right about it now. Preach, Godfather, preach.
Wait, how did Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, know that Ayesha Curry would be embarrassing her husband in 2025? Well, because she's been doing this for years, since Kevin Samuels was here with us. But what I really want to point out when it comes to the time that Kevin Samuels said what he's saying right now is, and a lot of people will know this if you were around back then and in tune, is this was some pretty controversial stuff to say about a celebrity, especially as someone who had a lot of attention on him at that time. It's statements like this, him calling out what it looks like is jealousy. Back in the day, the people would say, oh, this is misogyny and hateful, and why are men out here saying these type of things? And what did you guys see in the video that I released? You see that women now are part of the crowd who are looking at situations like this and going like, nah, that doesn't look right. Right? Looking at like Jada Pinkett Smith and other wives who fall within that category of getting online and loving to embarrass their husbands. The sentiment has changed. More people are willing to serve coffee.
Especially this really runs deep, especially in women who are failed actresses and failed models. When you meet a woman who...
What is Ayesha Curry, ladies and gentlemen? A failed actress, failed model. Remember, she was acting since she was 3 years old. Failed actress, failed model. She had a decision to make. Do I continue down this road where I'm gaining used to my experiences and I'm going to be a girl boss one day and all this other stuff? Or was she counseled by her family saying, stop being stupid, go get that bag, go get that money, have that family, and secure that family's future? That's exactly what she did. She did that. She did that. And good on her for doing that. But she still resented Steph for providing her that life. She would be much happier if Steph was a high school basketball coach. So, you can't make this stuff up, as Kevin would always say. You can't make this stuff up at all. The fact that she would much rather Steph be a high school unknown basketball coach than be the Steph Curry we know today. Make that make sense.
Is a struggling local actress, struggling local model, attractive, but she just doesn't have that it factor. You can kick it with her, you can date her, you can hang out with her, but do not make any kind of commitment to her. And for God's sake, don't marry her or have any children. Because one, she is always going to have in her mind any kind of weight I put on, anything that happens is going to potentially hurt this non-existent career she's dreaming about, this fame that she wants.
I see him all the time out here in LA. Yep. I see him all the time. A quick word about the sponsor of this channel, FathersHaveRights.
If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. Her womanness before he grew into his manness. He has finally grown into his man's body, into his man's mind, and become the man a lot of people saw in him. She's still looking at him as the same little boy who was blowing her kisses and kissing her ass as a teenager. And that's what you saw come out. That's what it is. It wasn't that she wants more attention. It wasn't that she wants more guys on her DM. She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there.
I agree.
Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was. Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I feel is going to happen. I feel this.
Before he starts into what he fears will happen, Kevin Samuels was 100% correct in his critique of Ayesha Curry. Absolutely spot on. Shout out to Marcia Bryant, Brian Marcial. Good buddy. Good to see you, man. Let me say this. Ayesha was supposed to be the star. She was. She was supposed to be the A1 Goomba #1 star. And so, and that didn't happen. And that didn't happen to too many women in Hollywood. Yes, Aisha was as was stated in her Call Her Daddy podcast. She went to LA. She wanted to be a star. She never became that star. She was a struggling actress. All of a sudden, Steph gets the call. Steph gets to the draft. He's drafted by Golden State. So she said to herself, "Okay, it's time to make a decision. So I'm gonna go with this one option that Steph has provided me. Nah, he's gonna be in the league for a couple of years. He'll give me a bit of notoriety. Then I'm the star." That didn't happen. That did not happen. Steph became one of the greatest NBA stars of all time. And so, what was the next step? Follow the Jada Pinkett playbook and try to tear him down from the inside, slowly stripping away his legacy. The only problem is, Steph's not flipping out. Steph's not slapping people on stage. Steph's not psychologically affected. Steph is not Will Smith. However, Will, as stated by Kevin, was way talented than Jada Pinkett. She would never be Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith will never have the notoriety of Will Smith, even though Will got her role after role, show after show, just to keep her busy. But the fact of the matter is, she was talentless. Although she thought that because I slept with, she thought that she was the romantic flavor for Tupac Shakur, that she was better. So began the teardown of one of the greater actors of the last 50 years. And so we're left with a husk of a great legacy through the teardown of one Jada Pinkett Smith. And so, following on from that, another, we get another disciple of Jada Pinkett Smith, and her name is Ayesha Curry. She's trying, however, Steph has done too many good things in the league for her to be turned down. And it's hoped that he doesn't travel down the road of Will Smith because he already sees the blueprint. He already sees what's coming down the pike. And she has already explained herself on Call Her Daddy. All he has to do is repeat that content to himself again and again and again and realize that this girl isn't for you. She's not for your success. She's for your downfall. She wants to be the main character. And I just hope that Steph can traverse these waters, hopefully keep his family together, if not, get out with his sanity and his career and his accolades and his notoriety and respect from all intact.
This is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him.
Right, right.
It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable.
Right.
She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people
She's still making those faux pas, Kevin. For a heavenly base, I hope you can see in this case. Let's continue.
are actually looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? So she's going to have to pipe down. She's not going to be able to say much about anything.
Listen, again, 2 years ago, Kevin Samuels said she's going to have to pipe down. Has she?
Nope.
She hasn't. Let me show you guys how much of a joke this woman takes this whole situation. This is how much of a joke Ayesha Curry takes this whole situation. Here, she posted a promo for some thing that she's releasing. It says, always wanted to marry a bourbon man. At the 8th rule, here's some free promo for her. Some bourbon-inspired lounge. I don't know if she's opening a lounge or a bar or something like that. October 10th in SF. To her, this is a joke, right?
And look at the uniform she's wearing. Luckily, she has a man by her side, but she's advertising for the world to see. She's advertising for the world to see. She's trying to get the male gaze now, even though her man is there with her. I can't believe the step allowed her out the house like that, but she did. She did. But she is trying to attract male gaze. She still wants that whole phase. It's still in her. She wants the attention. She wants the adulation. It's there for all to see. But still, he's opening up speakeasies for his wife. God bless you, Steph Curry. God bless you.
She's like, oh, I'm going to play off the idea that people think that I don't actually want to be with my husband and I never wanted him. I never wanted kids. I wanted to be free, single. And the chicks came out and they're like, you know what? We're listening to this woman talk. Women talk like this. These are the women saying this. Women talk like this when they're ready to step out. They want to be single. They want to experience other men. And if there's one thing that I've learned throughout the past 5 years doing this type of content is relationships, marriages don't care about your economic status all that much. They don't care about how famous you are. It's hard. She can joke about it, but it's hard. It's difficult building something sincere. You can't pay for cooperation. You can't buy your way into attraction. Well, that's not true. You can buy your way into temporary attraction, right? For a short time. But we're talking about marriage here, right? Lasting a long time. You can't. You can't. You cannot. Money won't keep a woman. No amount of accomplishments can have her respect you. That takes two caffeinated minds that can be accountable to themselves, that are willing to work on themselves on both sides, not just the women, but the men as well. But here we see a wife who thinks this is a joke, along with the chicks here in the comment section who are probably joking around. This is a funny post. That's hilarious. They got Jada there. Clown. Oh, never mind. Yeah, a lot of people in here are actually calling her out. This person here says Ayesha Pinkett Curry. That's hilarious. Somebody else here added Ayesha, the new Jada. Wow. Okay. Look at that. Boy, times have changed. We have a happy wife, proud mom here says, I used to like her. This woman is damaging her image and doesn't even understand what she's doing.
I wish that stopping right there because I want to get to this woman right here. I want to get to this woman. You'll want to hear because she's speaking out of turn. Anyway, just getting back to what Chisa Zed had to say. Chisa's right. You can't buy attraction. You can't buy love. It can only be there for a certain time. You can't buy desire. You can't buy a lasting relationship. It's only there for a time, and it's only if the woman or the man are willing to stay and willing to work at it and willing to continue its growth that it will be a successful relationship. It will never be. She'll always have. She'll always look for that dark skinned dude or this dude or that dude because she never had sincerely age of discovery. She never had her whole face. Never did. Never had a whole face. And she resents it. She resents it as the day is long. Not only that, she hates the fact that Steph is who he is. So what are we to do? It is hope that Steph can get himself out of this query, this conundrum that he's in right now. But if not, then it is what it is. It is what it is. And Steph has got to protect himself. It is only hope that he has a prenup, but probably not. He'll have to suffer the consequences. And she'll use her Curry name to get into these different venues and that and these lanes that Steph created himself. Because that is the burden of man, after all. Let's continue.
Steph Curry would speak up for his wife. I wish that he would come out and say literally anything, because these people are fucking idiots. Ayesha
No, they're not. Go on.
Curry should have just wrote a book instead of going on any podcast or doing any interviews. She should have known that people lack basic comprehension skills. Why would they ever watch or listen to her full interview when
I did. I did. We just did on Talk Live. And you know what? Those people are right. I ask you if you watched their full interview. Those people are right. I know they're right because I've seen it myself. So you're talking out of your ass right now. Let's continue.
they can just take this little snippet, run with it, and create their own narrative? Mind you, they hated her before this interview ever came out.
No, we didn't hate her. We just believe that she deserved second chance. But with every chance, she said herself, she just runs her mouth. She just can't keep her mouth shut. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. She said herself, she can't keep her mouth shut. I made sure she created the rope in which to hang herself with. She said she can't keep her mouth shut. If you saw the video, you know that too.
I listened to the entire thing. Not only does she speak highly of her family, especially Steph, she answered the question the interviewer asked.
No, she did not. Well, she answered her question. No, she didn't. She thought she was better than Steph. You clearly weren't watching what I was watching. I don't know what the hell you were watching.
If she ever saw herself getting married. Why would she see herself getting married when from the age of 3, she was an actress?
Yeah, that was going to make her money. That was wild. Yes, from the age of 3, she looked wild the damn self right now. That was gonna make her the money that she wanted. Yes, from the age of 3, she'd go to audition to audition to audition, and somehow she'll get a big break, and she will strike it rich as an actress, a 1 in a million chance. That's the reason why Meghan Markle went off with a prince, because she was very, very, very fed up with going to audition to audition to audition to try to make a name for herself. But you keep believing that, yeah? All right.
That was her destiny. That is what her parents were training her up to be.
An actress, a starving actress. What a wonderful legacy to leave. You know what? We're just going to leave that there. We're going to move on because, quite simply, you're talking out of your behind. Let's move on to some intelligent chat. Let's go, Kev.
And she thinks he's down here. It is not going to change. She does not view Steph Curry as the NBA All-Star world champion basketball player. She views Steph Curry as this guy that her mom and dad, her parents told her, you need to marry and secure the bag. She didn't want to be there. She would have rather been a struggling actress in Hollywood, trying to get bit parts in commercials, trying to get pickups in TV, trying to be an extra here or try to get a print commercial or something, while ended up dating whoever. Honestly, right. She'd have been happier that way. I know too many women like this. Trust me, I've seen this in my life. There are women like her who are above average looking. Let's be honest, she's not that fine. I mean, she's attractive, but she ain't model fine.
She's right. She's absolutely right. She's a 6. She's an adjustable 6. She, the more weight she loses, the greater chance of her becoming an 8. But she's an adjustable 6. In the words of Kevin Samuels, she's an adjustable 6. But she said it herself. She looks like SpongeBob. She looks like SpongeBob. She said it herself on Call Her Daddy. Look it up. She said she looked like SpongeBob. They clowned her because she looked like SpongeBob. And you know what? She said, they were right. I came with receipts today, ladies and gentlemen. And they were right. She looks like SpongeBob. And the more weight she puts on, the greater her chance of becoming that 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. She's a cute girl, but she is not an 8, 9, or 10. No. No, 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 no. She's not that. Yes, Kevin is right. She may get some print ads. She may get some commercials. But she is not going to be a Meghan Markle. Not even a Meghan Markle she's going to be. She's lucky she's in the position she has so she can get a network show. Food Network show due to her husband's generosity and name and fame and notoriety. That's what we have to deal with, ladies and
She's pretty, but she ain't all that. She can't handle it. She's not built for it, but she thinks she is. She can't even handle the overflow traffic she gets from her husband. What the hell makes her think she could handle it in the spotlight? But the problem is she's
Hold on. Remember that girl with the lollipop in her mouth when Steph was coming off the court, like I think in like the 2015, 2016 semifinals and finals, and was looking dead at Steph Curry. That girl was better looking than Ayesha Curry. And it burnt, and I know she looked at that video and it burned her soul that is the type of competition she's dealing with, and she has to thank the gods above. She got to thank God above. There's only one God. She got to thank God above that he stayed with her because he could have the pick of the litter anywhere he goes. If he leaves his wife, oh no 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 no, the gravy train won't stop here. The gravy train will not stop here. Not for a certified Hall of Famer. Not for a man who will get into acting or he can do golf or do any of these things. Because listen, Steph Curry's good at golf. He's very good at golf. And he's very good at acting too. She keep playing around. Let her keep playing. Let her keep playing.
too close to the sun. She's close enough to where she actually thinks she could do just fine. And the bad thing is she's seen too many women kind of do this kind of thing. Look what Kamora Lee Simmons did. She actually has had a reasonably successful career, but she was a model, a supermodel in somebody's eyes, but a model nonetheless. What has Ayesha Curry done?
How many times was Kamora Lee Simmons married? She's another creator. How many times was Kamora Lee Simmons married to Jaimin Hunsu? What was it now? Simmons himself. Shoot. All right. Don't worry, it's gonna come to me. Um, somebody give it to me in the comments. Somebody give it to me in the comments. But he was married to a Simmons, married to Jaimin Hunsu, married to a third guy, left that too. She's still single as French toast because she believes that she was the main character.
That have been married to Steph Curry. But that's not going to change anything. This is going to nag at her, nag at them until she ends up. Now there's another possible alternative.
Right.
Steph could try to work behind the scenes with some Hollywood producer, friend, family, and try to throw some work her way and try to get.
He did do that stuff. He gave her a food telecast. He gave her spots on local Oakland, San Francisco TV. Gave her a spot on telecasts in home telecasts of the Golden State Warriors. Gave her all that. Gave her a Food Network channel. Gave her a speakeasy. Gave her a cookbook. Gave her a production company. Gave her a foundation. And still, that's it.
Her in Hollywood, but you know what? It'll even be worse because honestly, when she gets up on the screen
Right.
and it shows that she doesn't have the chops, shows that she doesn't have that it factor, then you have to deal with the fallout of that. When you marry a woman who thinks she's better than you, when you're with somebody who is ultimately going to be jealous of you, who can't play their role, does not like the spotlight being on you, you're signing up for a life of misery. There's going to be this passive aggressive, low level contempt for you because at the end of the day, you're really not what she wanted. You're not what she wanted to do. She wanted something completely else, and she's living a life that somebody else planned for her. And even though it's probably the best thing for her, she thinks she can do better. Till the next time, talk at you.
I mean, he hit on every point. Every point. I think the point that stood out to me the most, which kind of reminds me of a thought process I was having in my last video, was the part where Kevin Samuels said, if she could really be what she saw herself as, you know, this boss babe, entrepreneur, who knows? She wants to be a star. He said, then she would be there. She believes she's something that she's not. And that's exactly why in the video that I made, I did not understand the whole perspective of, well, I just couldn't, you know, I became a mother. I'm like, hey, you were a millionaire. And I try to think maybe she's protective about daycare. Okay, you can pay a close family member because, you know, not everybody's comfortable with daycare. I have my own problems with that. The main point is she can afford to pay a family member to watch the kids or someone who she can trust. If you want to do something, you do it. There's single moms who have become successful and they had less resources to leverage to get that success. Kevin Samuels was talking about the it factor. And I believe along with that it factor of believing like, hey, this is mine, comes the work. And my question would be, you had the resources, you had the money, you had the backing. Why couldn't you do what you wanted to do? I don't get it. Are there chances that there are things we don't know in the background that are happening? Yes. However, when you open up to the public about your relationship on a podcast, then you open yourself up to people's opinions about the decisions and the mindset that you're currently in.
Can a rapper just say, I want my girl fine as Ayesha Curry so she can leave us alone about this, bro? Like, please, a rapper, somebody say fine like Ayesha Curry. Somebody, please, so she can leave us alone. Like, please, somebody say fine like Ayesha Curry or built like Ayesha Curry. I want her bad like Ayesha Curry. Like something, somebody please give her the validation that she is looking for so she can leave us alone, bro. Please.
I don't need no Ayesha, I need peace in my home. Not a wife on the mic trying to go viral on her phone.
Hey Ayesha girl, my name is Bailey. I am a PR professional. I don't know if you know or aware or care, but they dragging your ass down here on the internet. You might be somewhere having a dirty martini with your friends, laughing, saying the brokie's got my name in their mouth again and don't even care. But if you are concerned, I'm gonna break it down for you. We're gonna go over a few things. We're gonna figure out how to fix this. So I look back in your file, see, you know, what you did, why they dragging you so hard. So I see you're on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and you know, you had a little girl conversation, girl talk with the host. And what you said to me wasn't that bad, but the fact that you had that conversation on the internet was the problem. I tell people all the time, do not talk about your marriage on the internet, period. Even normal people. I've seen them drag normal people for less. So you being an NBA superstar's wife, you can't say shit.
Excellent point. Don't say shit about your NBA. Your all NBA All-Star, all-time 75 point guard Steph Curry. Don't do it. Don't do it because those fans are loyal as FCUK, and they're gonna come for you. You even said it on yourself on the podcast. Those fans are loyal. You weren't expecting that. You weren't expecting these fans to come for you. She said, "Nah, they'll forget." No, they won't. Not against not with one of their superstars. Not with one of their heroes. Nope. They don't forget about heroes. That's the reason why they hang people. They hang their numbers in the rafters so people don't forget. They don't forget about Steph Curry. They'll hang number 30 in the rafters. Remember that. You messed up with the wrong crowd. You they may forget about Will Smith because Will Smith, well, he broke down. But listen, they'll still remember him for his movies. A lot of people still remember Will Smith, but it's just that he let himself down. But they'll still remember Will Smith, but not to the level that people remember about Steph Curry. They remember the memories he gave them. The the last minute jumpers, the unbelievable shots, the championships, the legacy that he created for San Francisco, Oakland area. They won't forget about Steph. Steph is minute is Steph. He doesn't have to buy himself a drink ever in that region of the world. Never. They'll never forget about Steph Curry. And you want to step on him?
I'm sure you know that. Maybe not. That's why I'm here. Okay, so then I went back in your file to see, like, damn, okay, it looks like, you know, you've been often compared to other basketball wives in the past a lot. You tend to talk more than other wives, and people don't like that. They put you in a box, they want you to shut the fuck up, but you don't. And then I see that you were on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett a couple years back, and you say, I quote, I get zero male attention. That's not something you say online. I can't even say that, and I don't have a husband. You can't just say, I can't say that. So no one can say that.
Basically, you're saying that you want a whole face. Basically, said, I want a whole face. I just said that. I don't get attention naturally. I want a whole face. Could somebody look at me? Because I want a whole face. And they're not supposed to look at you. You're Steph Curry's wife. That's okay. Those who don't learn must feel. Let's go.
Saying, oh, I get zero male attention. You just seem male-centered, and nobody likes that. And you have a husband, superstar husband that you married to, so that wasn't a good idea. And then you were on Jada Pinkett podcast. People don't like her. I'm sure Jada Pinkett don't give a fuck, but she's often looked at somebody who talks down on her husband. So, like,
she wrote the blueprint on talking down on her husband. She wrote the blueprint. She had 20 years of experience talking down on her husband. She had her children write to Tupac saying they missed her. That's the level. That's the the depths of hell to which Jada Pinkett Smith would derive to. But lo and behold, she thought that she was hotter than the tea kettle, so she wrote a book about it. And guess what? She got her comeuppance. And you know what? You don't hear from her again because you know why? Because people don't like ugly. Don't like ugly.
guilty by association type thing. Anyway, so then you got on this other podcast. People already have preconceived notions about you, and so you see how it's a build up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we just gotta figure out how we gonna fix this. And another thing, I just think people they just don't like people talk down on people's husbands. I mean, or talk down on their or marriage. Period. Remember what they did to Simone Biles' husband?
People don't like people talking on their sports stars, especially their sports stars who produce 4 championships, who's a certified Hall of Famer, first ballot, 2-time MVP. They hate that. But this man brought memories to the world, and you want to talk out of turn. Because you didn't have your whole face, right? Right? That's the reason why? Okay. You thought you were better than him, right? Okay. You thought you were the main character, huh? You deserve the spotlight, right? Okay. A whole franchise's livelihood on his 3-point shots. But you are the main character.
Husband drugged him for 40 days and 40 nights. So, you know, it's just don't talk about your marriage. But I got a plan. We can figure this out. This ain't no problem. We can fix this. Another thing is that people just don't understand why you want to be a career girl and don't want to live a soft life. Like, what time is it? I ain't got no watch on. Okay, I got to get ready to go to bed because I got to go to work tomorrow. And it's like, why you want to go to work? You know what I mean? And then you saying like, oh, I never wanted kids. Let me be real. A lot of people don't even want their kids. They just want to come down on you because you got nannies and stuff and help. And like, why you don't want your kids? Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot, girl. We can fix this though. We can figure it out. It ain't no problem. All right, call me.
She got a few of these comments in response to this video. Top comment here says, even from the grave, he don't miss. Another person here added, The Godfather hitting threes from the grave. Somebody else here added, don't she realize she's winning already? That's the thing. And this is why men really, when they sit down and look at every angle, they're hesitant and they're careful.
Yep.
I'm talking about the men who value marriage when picking a wife. Because they understand there are some women who you're just not going to make happy.
Yep.
If she didn't have Steph, chances are she would be praying and asking for Steph. When she has Steph, she's now like, oh, I sacrificed my life. I'm doing too much. At what point will she be content? She wants to be her own woman. She wants to be a boss babe. Okay, let's enter that fantasy world for a little bit. She's a boss babe. All right. She's achieved every single goal, built every single company. She's a strong and independent woman. Now she's looking for a man who wants to do it. But there are plenty of men who, see, we can't talk to delusion.
The reason why a lot of y'all can't.
And stop that there, because again, that's true. Because he's right. Imagine if she was a boss babe. Do you think men want to deal with a boss babe? Huh? What? Do you think the high school? Let's go to a parallel universe. You think the high school basketball coach Steph Curry wants to deal with the boss babe? Boss babe Ayesha Curry? That's why most of them boss babes end up alone. Don't want to deal with them. Don't want to deal with their demands. Plus, she'll probably put demands on him to do better. He wants him to be a high school coach now. She wants him to be a college coach. She wants him to be an NBA coach. Make that make sense. I don't understand it, nor will I comprehend it. We're going to fast forward this to the end here. So we have a few more comments here that I thought that were worthy of things here. And then we're going to close up. Let's continue.
Curry needs to have had a whole phase in order to appreciate having a good man. Well, look, that's like basically saying a person needs to go to jail in order to appreciate their freedom. I ain't never been in jail a day in my life, and I don't need to go to jail to appreciate my freedom and my rights. You a damn fool if you can't learn from other people's mistakes. Ayesha Curry did not need to be getting cracked in the back of clubs, getting her walls and her jaws knocked loose in order to appreciate a multimillionaire who family-oriented and about his business. Y'all say...
Stop that there. No true word said. This man is on point. My mama always said, those who don't learn must feel. And if you don't see the forest for the trees, you deserve all that you receive in terms of vitriol. And that's light compared to some people. Light. He is right. It's like going to jail to appreciate freedom. I don't want jail. I've never been to jail. I've put record period. I know enough not to go to jail. Because jail is not a place for long-lasting human living. Nope. Any part of no parts of jail. That's what Ayesha Curry is doing. She wants to get her back broken. She wants the experience of it all to realize that, hey, I don't want this. Maybe I should just stick with Steph. Steph is good. He's safe. Provides me with a career. Gives me a foundation. Gives me a TV show. Gives me the wherewithal to be an independent woman on my own terms. I don't have to audition or suffer. We're at 25 seconds left. We're going to end it here on Instagram because we're just going to end it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me live here on Instagram. We'll be back, if not tomorrow night, Thursday night, with one more show for the week. We are back. We are live here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me here. Sponsored by Beast of Creation. We got the Wolverine right here, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Peace. Thank you very much. And we're going to just finish off things here on Talk Talk Live here on YouTube. And yes, it's time for Ayesha Curry to get her wake up call. All that she's receiving now is well and truly warranted.
Hey, anything on this app caping for each other. And please don't get started on, well, she didn't get to live her life and chase her dreams. That woman could have hired the best nannies money could have bought and went did any endeavor that her heart desired. Don't want to hear it. Y'all full of shit.
Ayesha Curry is married to a 6'3" athletic billionaire, and she's on those podcasts as if she's the catch. Hello?
I feel like
Yeah, it's not all upstairs, is it? Nah, you gotta search for well, the dice up there. She's a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Let's continue.
Ayesha Curry is saying all this stuff unprompted, unwarranted about her never wanting kids or marriage, in hopes that Stefan will divorce her and she can have her hot girl summer or her hot girl era or her 304 era while she's well into her 30s. Unknowingly, I don't think she realizes that all this mess she's talking, she's showing that she can't hold water. She said herself, like, anything that comes to my mind, I have to say it. Okay, so you can't be trusted with information. Therefore, why?
Thank you. Somebody was listening. Yes, she did say that. She can't be trusted in information. She is a loudmouth. She does not understand that there are family secrets she should not divulge. Nah, she's gonna get her out there because she wants the attention and adulation. Jada Pinkett said the same thing. She took down her man because she did not like her man being that successful. So therefore, she tore him down from within. That's what Jada Pinkett Smith did, and this is the same blueprint with which Ayesha Curry is going through right now. Yes, yes, yes. I believe it wholeheartedly.
If you do ultimately get divorced, which they probably won't, but if they do, I think in her mind, she's hoping that if she puts herself out there enough now, currently, that there will be a line lined up to sleep with her that she can have fun with. When in reality, all this is doing is showing your true character. You can't be trusted. You're messy. You settled, and now you realize you settled and you're unhappy. Now, granted, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. All we see is the glitz, the glamour. You got the husband, you got the kids, you got the money, you got the house, you got the clothes, you got the designer. That's what we see. So we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But we know about 98% of it because you're getting on all this stuff, vocalizing your marital problems and the decisions that you made. Nobody forced you to get married. Nobody forced you to have these children. And you kept having children. You didn't just stop after the first one. You kept having children.
4 children to be exact. Thank you. Continue.
So obviously you did not want children that not bad.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense. But y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying. So it's women like that you going on the internet saying all this stuff means what?
It makes women like that make it harder for women like her. Because men will find that if they can't trust a NBA All-Star athlete, Hall of Fame, first ballot individual, what chance do we all have? And not only that, what chance will we give a woman such as this one here, who clearly has her head on straight? That's the problem. That's the paradox we're dealing with here.
You could have easily went to Stefan and said, you know what, I realize I'm at a point in my life that I'm not really happy. I love the life that we've built together. It's just not the life that I really envisioned for myself. So I think we should take some time and separate. How hard is it to say that to somebody you've been with for so long? Go to therapy. That's all you have to say. And then if therapy doesn't work, then you say, all right, well, we've tried therapy for this and this amount of time, and I'm still really feeling unfulfilled. I feel like I need to have a season of myself. I really feel like we should separate. And leave him alone. Leave him alone. Y'all make...
Because there is a price to pay for that. And Lord knows Steph doesn't want to pay it because this woman has these feelings of resentment. But anyways, we're gonna leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me here and Talk Live. Let's just bring it back, sing it back, bring it back, sing it back to me, right here, right here on Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just sum up this by saying, yeah, we had to have a talk about Ayesha Curry. Yes, it's a bit late, but I hope that the women out there who view this video understand that having a good man at any level is a blessing. And you should count your blessings for having said man, as Ayesha Curry should count her blessings for being with Steph, because Steph is a 1% of 1% of 1% man who's created a career for you, has created a lifestyle to which you and your children are so wonderfully accustomed, and no one's going to want to hear your tears at the end of the day. This is what you signed up for, as your caretaker told you when seeing you within the limousine. This is what you signed up for. So don't expect the world to feel sorry for you that you signed up, because as you clearly stated, you thought you were better than Steph. You thought Steph would be a high school coach. You thought Steph would not measure up to be the person he is today. If you want to leave, leave. Steph will move on. And you will be the former Mrs. Curry. Do you want that? I didn't think so. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Great to be back here. It took a little bit in terms of getting the setup. We got a few people on the line here tonight, so I thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. We'll be back with another show where I think we will talk about Saweetie. Saweetie is in a bit of it's in a spot of bother, and we'll talk about that on another show of Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're gonna end it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. It's about just after 12 o'clock. The Dodgers have won yesterday. Tomorrow night, the Jays are back in, are back at the dish against the Mariners. Let's hope that they can get a win, because they need a win. They need to pull something out, or else it is going to be hell to pay to get back in this series, because then it'll be 3-0 and then they'll be pretty much game over. So we need a Jays win tomorrow night. So we'll see where we stand tomorrow night. If not, we're going to go for Thursday. So look for me either tomorrow or Thursday night on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to end here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.